यस पंजाबी ते अज फिर तुहाडा स्वागत है। मैं हाँ तुहाडी होस्ट गुरमीत सोधी। जिस तरह असी पूरा समर बैक टू स्कूल स्पैशल दे बारे च गल कीता है एंड एट द सेम टाइम बच्चियां नाल टीनेजर्स नाल को होस्टिंग प्रोग्राम कीता है दैट दे बिल्ड देयर सेल्फ कॉन्फिडेंस इन पब्लिक स्पीकिंग। उस दे नाल ही हुण अज जिहड़ा स्पैशल प्रोग्राम असी तुहानूं लैके आ रहे हां, ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਦਿਖਾਵਾਂਗੇ ਕਿ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨਾਲ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਉਹ ਸਕੂਲ ਵਾਪਸ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ ਵਾਟ ਆਰ ਦ ਡਿਫਰੈਂਟ ਥਿੰਗਸ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਫਰਕ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਹੈ। ਆਰ ਯੂ ਅਵੇਅਰ ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਘਰ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪੁੱਛਦੇ ਹੋ ਕਿ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਦਿਨ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਰਿਹਾ ਸੀਗਾ, ਹਾਊ ਵਾਸ देयर डे ਐਟ ਸਕੂਲ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਜਵਾਬ ਕੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ? ਆਰ ਦੇ ਲਾਫਿੰਗ, ਆਰ ਦੇ ਕੁਆਇਟ, ਵਾਟ ਇਜ਼ ਇਟ, ਆਰ ਯੂ ਪਿਕਿੰਗ ਅਪ ਬਿਟਵੀਨ ਦ ਲਾਈਨਸ? ਵੈਲ ਮੇਬੀ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਕੂਲ ਅੰਦਰ ਬੁਲਿੰਗ ਦੇ ਇਸ਼ੂਜ਼ ਹੋ ਰਹੇ ਹੋਣ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਦੂਜੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਬੌਦਰ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ, ਪਰੇਸ਼ਾਨ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ। If that is the case, how do you address it? ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਸਨੂੰ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਐਡਰੈਸ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋ? How can you help build their self-confidence? ਤਾਂ ਅੱਜ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਗੈਸਟ ਨਾਲ ਜੋ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਣਗੇ ਇੱਕ ਪੇਰੈਂਟ ਨਾਲ ਕਿ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਬੇਟੇ ਨਾਲ ਕੀ ਹੋਇਆ, how they handle the situation ਔਰ ਉਸ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ what effect did it have on their family? With that also ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਐਕਸਪਰਟਸ ਨਾਲ ਜੋ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਣਗੇ ਕਿ ਮੇਬੀ ਸੈਲਫ ਡਿਫੈਂਸ ਇੱਕ ਤਰੀਕਾ ਹੈ ਜਿਸ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਸੈਲਫ ਕੌਨਫੀਡੈਂਸ ਸਿਖਾ ਸਕੋ and help them कि वो अपने आप ਨੂੰ self defense ਨਾਲ protect ਕਰ ਸਕਣ। ਉਸ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ I'll introduce you our guest today, Arnold Lessman. Hello Arnold, nice to have you here.
Hi, thank you, nice to be here.
Thank you. And Sensei Nick Gravina, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
All right, well let's start today. Arnold, we'll talk to you.
Okay.
Tell us what exactly happened with your son. Your son went through the bullying issues in school and I think it got a little out of hand. And it didn't just happen overnight. It didn't start 1, 2, 3. No. So it really led on to it. Yeah. So tell me a little bit, how long ago, how old is your son? Let's start with that.
My son is now 13 years old.
Okay.
And he's going into 8th grade. And the bullying started in technically 4th grade, but it continued more so in 5th grade. 5th grade was a very, very bad year. Okay. 6th grade, not as bad. In this past year, 7th grade, things escalated dramatically. So it's been quite a few years that this has been going on. Okay. In 4th grade, it started with bullying on the bus with a particular boy who was picking on him, and the brother of this boy made a comment to my son, and my son talked back to him, and then the older brother then started picking on my son, saying that he did something. So it kind of started there. There really was no response from the school relating to that. The school bus driver didn't really deal with it properly. I don't even think the school bus driver really reported it. I'm not sure, but it continued for a while, but it happened towards the end of the year, so we went to 5th grade. Now 5th grade was a bad year. 5th grade, my son was bullied almost the entire year. It was like a series of unfortunate events. The way the school is set up is that there's a team approach. There's 2 teachers. He sees one teacher in the morning and another teacher in the afternoon. Well, the teacher in the morning got pregnant, which is normally a great thing. Very, very great, very nice teacher. And she only was there a couple of months. A substitute came in. The particular guidance counselor, again, also pregnant. All good things, but unfortunately it was like a series of unfortunate events that kind of left my son with kind of falling through the cracks with the way things happened in school. Anyway, he was bullied by this boy almost the entire year, pushing him, saying bad things to him. And most of it was really in the areas of where a lot of the bullying happens. Rec, it happens in the hallway. Very rarely does it happen in the school classroom, but most of the time in areas where there's not a lot of supervision.
Okay.
So this boy was bullying him all year long, and finally, we had discussions with the vice principal, which we felt didn't get us where we wanted to get. Things were still happening. And then finally, things got so bad that we said, hey, we got to do something. You got to move the kid, the boy, or my son. Now, the reaction from the school was, well, we can move your son, not a problem. We can't move the boy. He's too difficult to move. He's got so many issues. He can't go to that school. He can't go to this class. This rescheduling for that class is a problem. He was much more difficult to move. It was very easy for my son, the victim, to be moved.
Now, before you, I'm sorry, you said the bullying started in 4th grade or 5th grade?
Well, the bus bullying started in 4th grade.
In 4th grade. So you know what? I do want to let our viewers know that I'm going to translate this over
I'm
for
sorry.
them. So no, that's okay. So they know as well. Now, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਕਹਿਣਾ Arnold Lessman ਦਾ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਕਿ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਬੇਟੇ ਨਾਲ ਜਦੋਂ bullying ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੋਈ ਸੀ ਉਹ 4th grade ਅੰਦਰ ਸੀਗੇ and it started with something as small as in the bus. ਬੱਸ ਅੰਦਰ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਨਾ ਕਰਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ, ਛੋਟੀ ਮੋਟੀ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਸੀਗੀਆਂ, ਪਰ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਬੱਸ ਡਰਾਈਵਰ ਸੀਗੇ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਮੈਟਰ ਪ੍ਰੋਪਰਲੀ ਹੈਂਡਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤਾ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਮੈਟਰ ਰਿਪੋਰਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤਾ, ਪਰ ਛੋਟੀ ਛੋਟੀ ਗੱਲਾਂ 4th grade ਤੋਂ 5th grade ਤੱਕ ਆਈਆਂ ਐਂਡ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਮੋਸਟ ਆਫ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਬੁਲਿੰਗ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਇਟ ਵਾਸ ਇਨ ਦ ਕਲਾਸਰੂਮ, ਇਟ ਵਾਸ ਰੀਅਲੀ ਮੇਨਲੀ ਹਾਲਵੇਜ਼ ਅੰਦਰ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ, ਕਦੀ ਹਾਲਵੇਜ਼ ਅੰਦਰ ਜਾਂ ਰੈਕਰੀਏਸ਼ਨ ਅੰਦਰ, ਲੰਚ ਟਾਈਮ 'ਤੇ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਬਾਹਰ ਹੋ, ਜਿੱਥੇ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਸੁਪਰਵਿਜ਼ਨ ਨਾ ਹੋਏ, ਉੱਥੇ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੋਇਆ ਸੀਗਾ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਫਕੋਰਸ ਕਾਉਂਸਲਰਸ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤਾ, ਟੀਚਰਸ ਨਾਲ, ਬਟ ਟੀਚਰ ਗਟ ਪ੍ਰੈਗਨੈਂਟ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਜਾਣਾ ਪਿਆ ਅਤੇ ਅੱਗੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹੋਰ ਨਏ ਸਬਸਟੀਟਿਊਟਸ ਆਉਣ ਲੱਗ ਗਏ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪੂਰੀ ਗੱਲ ਦਾ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀਗਾ। Now, of course, ਅਸੀਂ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਅੱਗੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਕਿਹੜੇ classes ਅੰਦਰ how it was handled. So then you went through 4th and 5th grade with this. How did it affect in the 6th and the 7th grade? Because now he's going into 8th.
Right. Well, just to kind of just continue a little bit with the 5th, because I think it's important.
Okay.
Is in 5th grade, after they moved him, he developed a medical condition, which complicated things going forward.
Oh.
And this medical condition, changed the way 6th and 7th grade, the way we dealt with things going forward. So let's fast forward. 6th grade.
This is in 5th grade that he developed this
medical condition? Towards the end of the year, and they say that because of the stress of the bullying, that this medical condition could be triggered by this.
Wow, okay.
I'm not saying that it wouldn't have happened,
okay,
but it was probably accelerated due to the issues that he was having.
Wow, okay.
So, 6th grade, bullying, we made sure we sat down with the vice principal. One thing that we tried to do and be proactive is to make sure, obviously, this boy was not in my son's classes going forward. So we sat down with the school and they accommodated us with that. They also took into consideration the boy from the bus and some of the people there to make sure they weren't in any of his classes either. Still had problems. There were issues with the boys. My son had broken his hand and had a little cast on it, and they threatened him with the cast, saying, "I'll break your other arm." Now, this is kind of a gang mentality. Now, these boys are the athletes. Back in my day, the athletes generally weren't the ones who were the bullies. It was usually the people who were, maybe not interested in school or
up to no good.
Yeah, exactly. But in this scenario, it turned out it happened to be the jocks and the athletes who were bothering him, in particularly in this year. And it was a gang mentality. I mean, one of the boys said to the principal after he got called down to the office, why'd you threaten him? He goes, well, because I was with my friends and I was